Oops. Didn't want to click that button. There we go. Good morning, beautiful people. Hello. It is a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day to be cute and gay. How's it going? How's it going? Yes, I am drinking a pumpkin cream cold brew. I am drinking Starbucks. I know, I probably shouldn't, but... Anyway, hello! Good morning! Good morning, Akicha and Kate. Hope you all enjoyed your little morning special. You know, I've been wanting to do something like that for a while, and I did it for all mods, everyone in our group. I also need to make sure to get it to some of our other mods that are out of the country as well. So anyway, good morning, everyone. Oh, so today's Friday. Today's Friday. On Fridays, I tend to try and do something a little bit more lighthearted. Stuff that's supposed to be like a little bit more, not as so deeply serious. And here's the thing. The title of the live is basically just all we're going to be talking about today. Our president is just so childish. Like, he really is. And he's childish and to distract from his obvious corruption and criminality. So, what's interesting about a lot of human behavior is you can be an awful person, but if you're funny, then you have a little bit more of like an aura of invincibility around you. Trump is objectively funny and hilarious, whether he intends to be or not. So, a lot of times he's very, very serious about, you know, his insanity. But like, and I need to turn on my car. But like, Trump is just so childish. This is just so childish. Why does my car like vibrate when I'm doing these lives? Why does my phone have to vibrate so much? Anyway. You see how my phone is like vibrating? I wish it wouldn't do that. Anyway, good morning, everyone. How's it going? There we go. Hello. How's it going? Throw it back. Oh, 100%. 100%. You say throw it back. You know, it was so funny. I actually did kind of throw it back. So earlier this morning, actually like close to literally like probably about 25 minutes ago, I looked at Truth Social and I'm like, oh God, what am I going to see? Donald Trump, of course, posts a whole bunch of crap over his Truth Social all the time. And I looked at this and Donald Trump said, and let me do it in his whole thing here. And he said, looks like we've lost India and Russia to the deepest, darkest China. To the deepest, darkest China. May they have a long and prosperous future together. President Donald J. Trump. And I'm just like, what? Hold on, looks like we've lost India and Russia to China. And so I was like, I responded back, oh crap, you can't even see it all the way. Oh, hold on. Oh geez, oh my gosh, well, hold on. Why did it, okay, so the way that I did this was I covered part of this up. Oh gosh, okay. Maybe, hold on, let me see if I can find the full picture here. Hold on. Where did it go? Hold on a second. Sorry, y'all. I needed to add a picture to the camera roll. Okay. Sorry about that. I know there was a delay. I know. I probably just like stifled the momentum of the live stream, but I didn't want to. So you know this here. I know we had a lot of people scroll away. Are we okay? I know I had to, I froze for a second because I needed to go and take a screenshot of my response because this, I guess, covered it up, which that's so annoying. That's so annoying. What if Trump and India threw it back together? Threw what back together? What do you even mean? Like throwing back drinks? What does that even mean? But anyway, okay, cool. So back to what I was saying here. So you know how I have a Truth Social account, and I cannot stand Trump at all. But I go through and I'm like, oh God, what is he saying today? What is he saying today? And this is what he's saying today. Let me start the segment over, okay? So he said, looks like we've lost India and Russia to the deepest, darkest China. And may they have a long and prosperous future together, President Donald J. Trump. Now, my response back, people in the chat here are saying, well, maybe you should throw it back. Honestly, and that's the Gavin Newsom strategy. Honestly, I'm kind of starting to really develop that. So I responded back to him directly this morning, and I said, and I guess that was Biden and Obama's fault at President Trump. I mean, this wouldn't happen under a Trump presidency. Oh, wait. See, here's the thing. This man he doesn't have a moral bone in his body. Like, I truly don't think he does. Everything that, even the smallest amount of morality is cloaked by a whole idea of doing it for his own benefit or his own his own benefit, like only to benefit himself. So when I saw that this morning, I'm just like, oh, I'm going to respond back immediately. Now he probably has teams of people that manage his Truth Social, so I don't think it's actually going to get to him. But anyway, it was just funny because he's saying, oh, we lost China and India we lost India and Russia to China. And it's like, it's pause. You take that and you put it under like a Kamala Harris or a Biden presidency, he would be like, look, they lost China, they lost India, they lost Russia, they lost them all. And let me tell you, this wouldn't happen under my presidency. It would not happen under a Trump presidency, not at all. We would be the best of pals. We'd have trade deals. We'd make America rich again. We'd make it would be so fantastic. We'd be tired of winning. I'm speaking too fast. He's much more in cognitive decline now, but you know what I mean. So our president is just so childish that I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll try to respond back in this way because maybe it will actually make a difference. So I just want to point something out here. In the last 48 to 36 hours, Trump has been much more childish than normal. And he's gone on like this bender of posting all these like silly crap. And let's just rip the Band-Aid right off here. This is all a convenient distraction from his White House directing the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, to conceal and cover up for him because he's in the Epstein files. Donald Trump's White House is literally saying, hey, Speaker Johnson, don't allow people to sign on to the discharge petition. Don't sign on to the discharge petition, because if you do, then we're gonna have to release the Epstein files, and we can't do that. Someone says, oh, stop. No, but yeah, 100%. 100%. So he's doing everything he possibly can to distract from his obvious criminality. Because, like, look, if Trump was innocent, then he should just release the files. Who is he covering up for? So instead of, like, actually doing anything to substantively serve the American people, he goes on these silly posting rants. This was from a day or so ago with Rosie O'Donnell. It's like, I don't even remember who Rosie O'Donnell is. This is Adam Schiff, the senator from California. It's like, what kind of purpose does this serve? Donald Trump's face on Mount Rushmore? Like, this is our president. Think about what kind of message this sends to kids. Like, that this is what a leader looks like. He's so childish. He's so childish. Imagine if, like, you know what's so funny? You know how I always say, oh, imagine if a Democrat starts doing this? You know what MAGA's response has been? Fox News has been doing endless amounts of coverage of Gavin Newsom, literally doing exactly the kind of style that Trump is doing, and they are freaking out about it. They're like, oh my God, this is abhorrent. What? How can you have no decency? I mean, this is, who is he trying to serve with this? It's like, this is the kind of crap we've been dealing with for the past, like, 10 years. So, it's funny how they're only slightly getting a taste of their own medicine when it's thrown back at them and you don't know how to respond. Welcome to the world of anyone who isn't MAGA for the past 10 years. But continuing onward here, he posts all of this crap all the time. Obviously trying to make fun of J.B. Pritzker and, oh God, what's his face? Chris Christie. Like, it's so childish. Like, our president is spending time doing this kind of childish crap. All this childish crap. And speaking of childish, let me address it real quick. If you don't like my voice, then maybe that makes you a snowflake. If you somehow get so riled up by my voice or get triggered by my voice, sweetheart, go have a Snickers bar, go have a juice box, go have a croissant, because minding your own business is free. Why are people always so obsessed with my sexuality and the way that I sound? The fact that people constantly comment those kinds of things, listen, that makes you creepy. That makes you the weird one. So, for the sake of unification, can we not try to fearmonger about our differences here? Like, seriously, people are like so, I guess, upset by the way that I sound. Dude, I don't go at you for how your voice sounds. Imagine if I were to walk up to someone and start telling them that, oh, the way that you sound makes me uncomfortable. It's like, okay, buzz off. So, for the sake of unification, can y'all literally, like, stop? Seriously, like, it's just childish. Speaking of childish, like, it's just, anyway. And, oh, someone responded, beta! Sweetheart, you don't even have a profile picture. You don't even have a profile picture. But anyway, and you sound upset. I'm literally just explaining to you how childish you are. Anyway, point is, with all of that, you have the president spending all this time doing this kind of crap. And it's so funny because you know how he posted this of Adam Schiff? Adam Schiff, who I'm not even the biggest fan of. He's not progressive enough for me. He's not. But I'll give credit where credit is due. He responded to this being like, well, even from up here, I can still see you hiding the Epstein files, Donald. Ooh, and that's just good. That is just good. I mean, wow. I was laughing at that so hard. But let's also address this here. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more about Epstein. All right? I'll give you an update about everything happening there. This morning, Donald Trump, he is so childish. Our president is so childish that he posted this. I'll show you in a second. If you're enjoying the live, please make sure to like the stream. It massively helps. I work super hard doing these live streams. Fridays are a little bit more lighthearted, so today we're not doing like hard-hitting journalism. But if you're enjoying the vibes, then please smash that subscribe button. I appreciate every single one of you. But liking Trump is gayer than this man. All the people that like get a job. I have work literally in 30 minutes. Calm down. Do you? Sweetheart, and I'm not even, there are some people who have been trying to find good positions. It's so hard in this economy, so don't try to do that. Do you feel good, keyboard warrior? Do you feel like you can pat yourself on the back and be like, oh yeah, I stuck it to a gay guy over the internet? Girl, whatever you need to do to tell yourself that you are doing a fine, dandy, good job. Anyway, but
I appreciate every single one of you. I am going to turn off the comments here for just a second, just to give my moderators a break, because y'all, there are so many people that are just being obnoxious. So just hush for a second. This was something that Donald Trump said this, what was it, 12 hours ago? So this was not this morning, but not long ago. So he posts this 12 hours ago. From a Delta captain, I thought you would get kicked out for this. Delta's official memo to employees. Big changes of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. And the liberals thought notice to airmen was racist. So they changed it back to notice of air missions. Delta just changed it back to notice of airmen. I think they're finally embracing MAGA. Okay. Where do we even start with this? Number one. The fact that these changes are not something that Delta is like making on their own. Donald Trump has directed the Federal Aviation Administration to make these name changes. Directed Google to make name changes on maps. Okay? For Apple to make changes on maps. So this is not something that like, oh, Delta is deciding to embrace this. No, they're going along with what the federal government under this madman king Trump has decided. So it's not like they are finally embracing MAGA. So point number one. Number two, he says big changes and liberals thought notice to airmen was racist. Pause. If anything, notice to airmen, and that would include men, women, and trans non-binary people, that's not even racism, because you're pointing out gender there. So if anything, it would be sexist. So you can't even get that straight. Whatever. But like, this is the thing that Donald Trump, our president, screenshotted this and was like, I'm gonna put this out on Truth Social. Yeah, we're making America so fantastic. What, by renaming a body of water? Renaming a body of water? And then changing back more inclusive language? What are you doing to actually tackle real issues? Your tariffs are literally making everything more and more expensive. Everything that he's doing is just an absolute disaster. But like, the fact that his administration is spending time doing this kind of crap, and just think for a second if Joe Biden had done something like this, had spent the time to take a screenshot like this, and like, oh my gosh, look at what, no, that'd be so stupid. It'd be so stupid. So like, down here, it's like revised, Gulf of Mexico to read Gulf of America. Revised, notice to air mission to notice to airmen. They're like patting themselves on the back for renaming a body of water and taking out inclusive language. I'm sorry, did when they said notice to air mission, did that offend you? Did that offend you, men? That, oh, now when they say air mission, they're not only saying airmen. Like, that's the thing. Inclusive language does not hurt anyone. In fact, there are people who get offended by inclusive language because you're not the only one at the table now. You're not the only one whose voice matters. So it's just so childish. The people that are like, oh my God, like all this inclusive language, you get so upset over it. You seriously get so upset over it. And then you try to point to other fingers to other people and then say that they're the snowflakes. And see, this is the kind of crap that our president puts out there into the ether. Seriously. This just happened 12 hours ago. This is what our president is focused on. We deserve someone who's actually substantively going to do something for the American people. And he does all of this crap to distract from his obvious criminality covering up for the Epstein files. So let me just talk about that for a second. So, you all know right now that for the past week, there's been Epstein victims that have come forward. You've had 6 people come forward, in addition to 3 family members of Virginia Giuffre. Oh, you know what's so funny? I started talking about Epstein. Ooh, we had a huge chunk of people scroll away. Cognitive dissonance at its finest. Love it. People are so childish. They can't confront information that goes against how they want to feel. They're like, no, I can't hear valid criticism of my dear leader. It's so childish. You see that in here, right? I'm about to turn back on comments here, but like, you see how childish it is? They cannot take in information that goes against what they want to believe. They can't. They're like, no. Anyway, but how much do they pay you to spread this? No, I am not one of those people that's been paid to promote anything. Anyway, so let me give you a brief little update about Epstein here. So you all know that part of the Epstein files are under the executive branch. Part of them are under the judicial branch. So the Epstein files span multiple different branches of government. And you have the executive branch trying to stop releasing the Epstein files in their branch. They're trying to pressure the judiciary to release more testimony. So they'll be like, look, here's Epstein files. It's like, well, you could release stuff within your own department, but Trump doesn't want to let that happen. So there was a really, really big thing that happened back on Wednesday, I think it was. Yeah, Wednesday. So you had basically this whole ruse that was set up. This whole ruse where you had, hold on just a second, let me get to it real quick. You had this whole ruse where the House of Representatives basically approved this symbolic measure saying that, oh, we're going to continue our investigation into the Epstein files. It's like, okay, we didn't need a congressional declaration saying that you are going to continue to investigate. The Epstein victims that have come forward are like, please just release the files. What is this? What's stopping you? One of the people who came forward, one of the Epstein victims was like, yeah, I voted for Trump. I don't know what he's doing. I voted for him. Why isn't he following through with this promise? That's a very valid question. It's like, for you know, it's so funny. If Trump was so innocent, then why wouldn't he just prove it? Release the files. Who is he trying to cover up for? The two explanations are either he is implicated within the criminality himself, which there's already enough evidence to make that case, or he's covering up for some high-profile donors to his campaign or other Washington insiders. Take your pick. Which one is it? So basically on Tuesday or Wednesday, I forget, the House of Representatives, they're like, oh crap, okay, the American people are upset. They want to release the Epstein files. Let's give them something that they can feel good about. So the House of Representatives, led by Mike Johnson, decided, you know what we're going to do? We're going to, instead of doing this discharge petition, which I'll tell you about in a second, we're going to approve this symbolic signal of support, this hollow resolution saying that we are directing the House Oversight Committee to continue its investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Well, guess what? You don't need an official House resolution to continue that investigation. It becomes completely moot. So basically the House of Representatives decided, you know what, we're going to try to pass something so it looks like we're doing something on this issue, when in reality, we just want people to shut up and accept the status quo. But let's pass a resolution saying that we're still working on it. And depending on the media, they're like, oh, we can spin it however they want to. So basically, the House approved this symbolic signal of support. So let me tell you about it here. The House approved this symbolic measure that would affirm that the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee's investigation into the handling of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. The measure, which included a House rule, cleared 212 to 208, but it has no practical implications, as the House Oversight Committee is already free to continue its probe without any further action on the House floor. So this was the thing here. A lot of Democrats were like, what is the point of this stupid resolution? Like, we don't need to do this. And, like, Republicans are like, yeah, let's send it through the House Oversight Committee. There's no need to continue doing that. But the reason why is because they want to pass something so it looks like they're doing something to actually disclose the Epstein files. It's similar to the fake release that they had, where they're like, look at all this stuff that's happening. It's like, Republicans think that Americans are stupid. MAGA Republican politicians think that Americans are stupid. And in some cases, they kind of are. In some cases, they are. Especially the people that vote for those people. Here's the resolution itself. It says the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform is directed to continue its ongoing investigation into the possible mismanagement of the federal government's investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. So they passed this hollow resolution saying that, oh, well, we're continued to be dedicated to the furtherance of justice for the... Shut up! This is why people hate politics. This is precisely why people hate politics. Because there's no actual action. There's no actual tangible steps forward. There's no actual justice. This is why people hate politics. Because of this rhetorical crap. All these Republican members of the House of Representatives are like, here, let's pass this hollow resolution to show that we are committed to really ensuring justice for these victims. How about you release the damn Epstein files? If Trump is so innocent, let the evidence speak for itself. Release it. Release it. What are you afraid of? Sign on to the discharge petition. So let me tell you about that in a second. There's one Republican that I will give massive credit to, Thomas Massie, who, along with Representative Ro Khanna, a Democrat of California, have decided to do this discharge petition, where they're going around to other members of Congress and being like, hey, will you sign this petition to bring this bill to the House floor? And you're like, well, wait, why do they have to do that? Can't they just bring it themselves? Good question. Every single bill that is ever presented to the Congress has to go through the Speaker of the House first to get it on the docket to then be voted upon. Well, the Speaker of the House will not let that bill go to the House floor. So they have to go through this discharge petition where, like, they have to get enough signatures in order to actually get it to the House floor. So with all that being said, what's interesting is that Massey's been going around and trying to get signatures for this vote here. Well, unfortunately, you've had people who said they originally supported it, now are backing out. Some of the Republicans that do support it, and yes, these names surprise me, are Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and Nancy Mace. 3 members of Congress I personally cannot stand, but credit where credit is due. They have said, yeah, why don't we just release the files? Meanwhile, there's a whole bunch of other members of Congress that are being pressured by the President of the United States, Donald Trump, along with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, to say, hey, actually don't sign that discharge petition because then we're actually going to have to release the Epstein files. And I know we ran on that, but we can't let that happen because we got a directive from the White House that, you know, we can't release them. So Republican Mike Johnson has urged his Republican members to steer clear of the discharge petition, and he's like, oh, you know, we don't need to do this discharge petition. We'll just have the House Oversight Committee deal with it. So what the Speaker of the House, a Republican, is saying, he's saying, well, we don't need to release the Epstein files because the House Oversight Committee is currently handling all of that. The Republican House Oversight Committee is already handling that. You're saying that you want to go through some bureaucratic exercise in whatever thing you can control instead of just giving the information to the American people? Yeah, I'm not buying it either. It continues to be the government trying to stop the information from coming out here. So, yeah, no. I'm not buying that excuse. And this is what they do. This is why people cannot stand politics. Because it turns into this whole game of, like... It turns into this whole game of, like, oh, Are we going to do action? Are we going to actually get justice for people? How about you do your damn job? Release the information to the people, actually get justice for the victims, hold people accountable, make progress, and then it's like, great, we get justice for the victims. Okay, ban insider trading. How about we actually give Medicare for all? How about we actually do some real robust changes in this country? But no, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They're too busy taking money from their big Washington donors and then covering up for them in their criminality. See, this is why people don't have faith in our system anymore. Because they see this corruption as built into the system. It's so frustrating to see. So, it makes this discharge petition irrelevant and unnecessary, says Johnson. Well, you've had other representatives like Anna Paulina Luna saying that, oh, it's a personal rift between Massey and the president. No, it's not. This is about Epstein. This is about actually getting justice for the victims, about holding people accountable. Ralph Norman, a Republican from South Carolina, said, oh, it's a backhanded slap to the president. How is voting to pushing forward to release the Epstein files, how is that a backhanded slap to the president? Is that somehow because the Epstein files they implicate Trump? See, these people, even in their cover-up, are already telling on him. Eric Burleson of Missouri and Tim Burchett of Tennessee also signaled they won't be supporting the measure. And same with Victoria Spartz. So, like, even if it does pass through the House of Representatives, it would have to go through the Senate, and then it would have to be signed by the president anyway. That being said, it's like you fight and try to do your job as an American lawmaker, and if someone else stops it, someone else stops it. Then you say, hey, look, that person stopped it. I was doing what I needed to do. So, all of this being said, this whole thing here, Donald Trump is acting so childish, posting this kind of crap about, oh, look, we renamed Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Look at us doing this idea of it's an illusion of progress. And then continuing to do so, like, super childish things, like posting things about Rosie O'Donnell, who's not been relevant for years. Or posting stuff like this of Adam Schiff, not even someone I am a big fan of. Or this. He posts this kind of childish crap as a way to distract from his obvious criminality. And it would be hilarious if it wasn't so serious and it didn't have damage on the country. Anyway, what's so funny is that this leaves a lot of MAGA conservatives in this position where they have to either support a pedophile or support Donald Trump covering up for pedophilia, or they have to admit that they were conned. Look, if there are Trump supporters in this live right now, I will give you massive credit if you go down this road. You admit you were conned. I'll tell you something. I was raised a MAGA Republican. I was. Truly. I was. Part of it is you are told what to believe, not empowered to think for yourself or think critically for yourself. They don't give you the opportunity to go out and actually look at the documents, look at it and say, what do you think? Not what to think. And see, the reason why the left is such a fractured caucus is because you have these like moderate, more centrist people and you have liberals. Everyone in the Democratic Party is always criticizing each other. But that also shows how much the Republican Party is a cult. Because if you disagree on a tiny little thing, all of a sudden you're not MAGA or you're not MAGA enough. Anyway, that all being said, oh, thank you for the super chats. I appreciate that. I saw that there were a couple in here. I think it's funny that there are people in here that did super chats to get my attention, but obviously they're not like friends of the live. Anyway, that all being said, I need to get to work. I have to skedaddle. I love all of you so dearly. Shout out to my amazing moderators, as always. Y'all are incredible. I do have to get going. Please make sure to smash that subscribe button. And also, if you enjoyed the live, please make sure to like the stream. I have other videos. Please go and check them out. I need to get going. I love all of you. Shout out to my amazing moderators. I cannot do this without you all. Obviously, I care about you all so much. So Cantisa, Joanna Tech, you're awesome. Jenny, Cherie, I love all of you. Akicha, Kate, Jenny, Elisa. I could not do any of this without you all. Seriously, it means so much. It means so much to have you all here. So, anyway, Cherie, Ellie, love you all. Just remember that you are beautiful, that you are loved, that you are valid, that you are strong, and that you are fierce. Don't let anyone or anything ever, 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 ever dim your shine. I love all of you so, so much. Bye!